there is something happening here. Test Dummy 22 has just announced his plans on a Kill 'em with Kindness act and a movement where he wants all the Juggalos called to action. And as president of Hatchet's Wicked Shack, I am proud to announce that we will stand with Test Dummy 22 in solidarity, however it is that we can possibly do this. Now, I would like to make adjustments and I would like to make additions into this plan. The adjustments will not be take anything away from Test Dummy 22, but they will entail us and people who aren't us. I would like to break this down into a 3-phase process. Phase 1, kill them with kindness. Get the shopping cart out of the parking lot, bring it back into the building. Help an old lady with groceries. Help somebody who's dropped something. These things that can easily be done with only minutes of our time. Things that we might overlook. People might go, oh no, someone else take care of it. No, no, no. You be that person. You go and you act that. You be that change. You be the person that goes over there and helps them. Don't wait on somebody else to do it. As soon as we accomplish this goal, we can now only do this through organizing. All of phase 1 is going to be doing is kindness and organizing. Organizing can take anytime between a month to 6 months, depending on how organized you want to get. And all it takes is one large group of people. It only takes one voice to start a revolution. But one large group. Look at Occupy Wall Street, for instance. They left their homes. Everybody gathered on the streets and occupied. This is a method of protest. So how could we use this to make a change and to start this movement? It may not be a protest, but in a way it is. So after we get organized, we're established into our different occupies, into our different gatherings, into our different groups of people. Whatever you want to call it. You can call them regimes, you can call them whatever it is you want. Large masses of people. And I don't want just the juggalos, the juggalettes, the maggots. No, no. I want society's lowest. I want the cesspool of society. I want the middle class, hardworking people. And I want corporate America on our side for this. Because ultimately that's going to bring us to phase 2. And that's making it so that we have our form of making money. Design t-shirts, design charms, which Hatchet's Wicked Shack is proud to announce that it will be doing charms and it will be doing clothing lines for this. We've already started with the FBI charm. Go to facebook.com/Hatchet's Wicked Shack and you'll find a picture of the FBI charm. HWS, Fight Back, Department of Justice and Bureau of Investigations. This charm will be part of this movement that Test Dummy 22 has asked us to help him with. Not only are we going to be doing this with the charms and the merchandise, we will be selling them and putting it back to where it all began. We'll put it into the family. We'll put it into those who need help. The leukemia research that I have promised to put money into as soon as those charms are purchased. When enough money is made and we can all group this together, we will decide on our own little groups that we form, or our large massive groups that we form. We will use the consensus process to get this done. Now I already announced Occupy North Conway. This was back in September, I believe I had made this page to Occupy North Conway. I will use that and combine it with this movement that Test Dummy 22 has asked us to do. Now, we've all probably been thinking this. We've all probably had this idea, which is what is usually fairly common in movements, in rebellions, in rising up. Everyone wanted to do it, but no one had the courage to do it. It only takes one voice to start a revolution. The voice has been spoken. Someone came out and stated what needs to be done, which brings me to phase 3. Ultimately, that is the FBI. The problem with Occupy and going against the government, unfortunately, was that it was non-violent for too long. This, however, will not require any acts of violence. This is not a takeover. This is not changing America with force or eliminating politics. This is simply putting the FBI in its place. We're not the only ones that have been wronged by the FBI. Other people have been. And if you really want to, those people who want to be the anarchists and things like that, the Patriot Act may have a lot to do with this. So, let's make this a summer thing. Let's do this all summer long. Because I know that's what happened in 2011 with Occupy Together. I want you to do your research on the Occupy movement. I want you to go and find videos of protesters. I want you to go and look at the statistics, the maps. I want you to go look at Occupy Oakland. And I want you to look at Occupy Wall Street, the good and the bad of it. So you know of what you may have to expect. Because when you organize like this, people assume it's a protest. As much as is, the right to protest, the right to assembly. Police and officials don't really like this. So I'm calling everybody to action who will stand by us for this. And we will get our names taken off of the FBI list. And I said 3 phases, but the 4th phase, I want this to be a continuation. If you want to call it phase 4, you can. But that's ultimately after we beat the FBI. Or we don't beat the FBI. We'll have to continue with what we were doing with phase 1 and 2. We can't let this die out like Occupy did. Let it fade away in the media. No. You want to get attention? You want to get on Juggalo News and Fago Lovers Test Dummy 22? Awesome. We're with you on that. Hatchet's Wicked Shack will stand by you in solidarity. And we will gather. We will group. We will organize. Absolutely. Without a shot of a doubt. You have our support. And since I'm making this decision, I hope everyone else will too. I hope the Juggalos Fight Back will. I hope Fago Lovers will. I hope Juggalo News does. I hope Shaggy Two Dope and Violent J hop in on this. And I also hope that we succeed. We do what's right. And no matter what happens, we stand united. We stand together against the FBI, against the agencies, against the public officials, against the Department of Justice, against law enforcement. No matter what happens, we stand together and we show them we are not the people that we have been accused of being. However, there are people who are looking to throw a Molotov cocktail. There are people who are looking for war. There are people who are looking to cause problems. We need to weed them out and still keep them organized. So, we educate them, which will be part of phase 1. Once you're organized and you figure out who you're working with and who's standing beside you, your brother in arms, make the decision to educate everybody so everyone's on the same basis. Some of you may choose to be leaders. Others may choose to have a leader to represent them at these meetings. Because there will have to be meetings. To keep everybody posted on what's going on, we use what was called the consensus process in Occupy. The consensus process means even if one person objects, the whole thing cannot go on until the person has either A, changed their mind, or everyone agrees on something else. People could see this as a good thing or a bad thing. It depends on what your perspective is. But everyone needs to get together and do a vote on how they are going to vote. Seems kind of redundant, and it kind of seems like a challenge. But we can do this. You can choose to pull it out of a hat if you wish. Not recommended, but you could. You could use the voting on, 5-2, whatever. Or you could go by consensus to decide if you're going to go by consensus. Which is probably the best way to go about it because everyone agrees to do it one way or the other. Well, we were leaderless. We did not have any leaders in Occupy. We all had our jobs and we did them to the best of our ability We went above and beyond. A lot of us did. I went with a group of 10, 15 people the first time I went to Oakland. The second time I went to Oakland, it was the four of us. That's right. I went to Oakland with 4 people. And we did not have the consensus of Occupy to go or not to go. No, we started our own thing. We broke away from Occupy and did our own thing. An autonomous group. Now, the term of autonomous is that you do not do things by the books as stated by whatever ruling has been suggested. Now, you can make one major faction, one major group, and break it down into different sectors, different cells, if you will. You can have the people who are completely in charge of putting up posters, who want to get this out and about. See, what Test Dummy 22 is thinking, I like it, but I want to make this a little bit bigger. Like I said, I'm not going to take anything away from Test Dummy 22, but I want to add to it, and I want to give you my thoughts on it and my personal experiences. So here goes. You got a group of people, or people who are good at putting up posters, drawing, designing, put them to use. Have them do something, and they'll be glad to do it. People who want to do designing for t-shirts and make some profit, have them do that. But everything goes into what we call a bank. Not your local bank or whatever. No. You have a treasurer for that. You have somebody who can count the money, who's going to tell you how much something is going to cost, and you all discuss it at meetings. And they all take place at the same time every day. So that way people can show up for it. Usually you want to do this in the evening for those who are at work. They want to be part of this. You wait until then. Usually you can do it right around 6:30, 7 o'clock. And because it's winter in some places and there is snow, let's do this as a summer thing. I say we have a start date so we can start phase 1 and then have the numbers and then have this take place. Officially. You need to establish what you are. You need to establish what you're doing, and then you can move on to what you need to do. And how did they do this? Some of us didn't have phones. We didn't phone Wall Street. We didn't do any of this. We used the media that was available to us. The internet. So where would we go for something like this? What could we possibly do for those who don't have internet and for those who want big gatherings? Well, how we did in Occupy, we used parks. We used these places. We had Schuler Park up in North Conway. I was not here for that. I was in Chico or in Oakland. We used the sidewalk of the plaza down there. We used the park in Oakland. It's up to you. All of you, as a group, whoever wants to be the leader of this, and whoever is elected as leader, if that's how you choose to do this, it'll be decided. Consensus takes away from leadership. It makes that way everybody is equally responsible, that everyone has the same responsibility. That way, not everything relies on one person, and they can get done what they need to get done. So, as for Hatchet's Wicked Shack and our plans, whoever wants to be a part of this, you do not have to be a model for Hatchet's Wicked Shack. You do not have to be part of the street team to do this. And Hatchet's Wicked Shack doesn't even really have members. I've got people that work for me. I've got people that work with me. This is something I had built 2 years ago. Yeah, Hatchet's Wicked Shack will be 2 years old this December. The plan of action is simply this. On my side of the table, I will have people, I will have a treasurer. I will do clothing. I will continue to do my charms. I will continue to do my work. And we will decide what's next. Who's doing the flyers? Who's doing what? And we'll make a movement out of this. Now, you don't have to occupy, meaning, you never leave and you stay camped there until it's all figured out. That's protest. But you can meet up every day at the same time to have a meeting on what everyone's been doing, catch up on, what you've been doing, what is it you want to do, things like that, so everyone feels included. If somebody cannot show up, you make a decision without them, you fill them in, and then you can go and change that, rectify that another night. when they're able to show up. But you're going to want people who can be there on a regular basis. You don't want the people who show up every now and again to help with the decision making. That's not fair, and I honestly think that's what led to some of the demise of Occupy. So what's it going to be? I personally think it should be up to the cells that start up, the factions, whatever, that start up. I think it should be up to them. And I think that it should be up to those who start doing something, and then they can do it their way. Because who knows? Maybe we'll get to be Time Magazine's Man of the Year, Person of the Year. Like I got to be. The Protester, 2011, was 2011's Person of the Year. That's an honor. I actually had that picture up on my wall for a while until we started moving. So this is our plan. This is what Hatchet's Wicked Shack will do. If you want to side with Test Dummy 22 and what his plans are, I am announcing this right here and now that Hatchet's Wicked Shack is officially in solidarity with Test Dummy 22 and anything else he needs help with that involves this movement. I have made this executive decision. I have not discussed it with my board. I have not discussed this with anybody who works for me or with me. I am making this decision as I am president of Hatchet's Wicked Shack. And that is what we will do. We are in solidarity. I think I just put 15 names on that list. And we will do everything we possibly can to make sure that everybody is heard, that everybody gets their say, and that things are done correctly. Consider this a guide for what is about to come. Because Test Dummy 22 wants to do this. And he wants your help. And Hatchet's Wicked Shack is proud to be part of it and to help him. And we will continue to do so in every way, shape, and form that we possibly can. And we will make it bigger and better than anyone could have ever anticipated. Where people could look back at those who did not help us and go, oh, that would have been a hell of an experience to be there. But this time, it's us. This is our world this time. So, since Hatchet's Wicked Shack has decided to help, I am giving a day where this will start. We will be organized, prepared, and ready by May 15th of 2013. We will have something set up outside at Schuler Park. And we will meet there as often as we possibly can, whether it's done once a night, once a week, however it is decided. I will have people joining me, standing beside me, and we will get this done right. So that way what's happening, that's going to start here on May 13th, it'll never be forgotten. May 13th, 2013. And we will be officially outside and organized May 15th. 2 days before we are out there, I will have my friends and those who stand with us organized and ready to go with 2 days of preparation of getting supplies, tables, chairs, whatever it is that we need for the outdoor event, and it will happen. One way or the other, this will happen. It will take place. We will be officially organized. We will have the numbers that we need to start this on May 13th, and we will be outside on May 15th. Anybody who wants to be part of this, you probably have my number by now. Feel free to text or call. You've got my Facebook. Message me. You've got my YouTube. Message me at advertisehws@gmail.com. I am now on Google+. As soon as I figure out how to work that, I will be on it more often. So if anyone can give me a little insight on how that works so I can make this bigger, please let me know. Juggalo News will be getting this. I will make sure Fago Lovers gets this. And I will be writing to the papers once again that I've already written to about our plans to get organized. The Conway Daily Sun out here will not help. They haven't published a letter of mine since 2010. So, we're on our own as far as the media out here goes. But we will make it. We will put it up in lights. We will put up our flyers. We will put up our posters. We will use public relations. And Hatchet's Wicked Shack will show the world that this summer, that this year, that this town, that this world is ours. This is our world. And by God, we're going to do it right.